Hi guys, welcome back to another edition of Max and Nicky 1000th Time Reactions,
on which we listen to songs for our 1000th time and react to them. Today we're going to be reacting to Shaboom by the Chords.
I know what you're thinking. You might be thinking the Crew Cuts, but the Chords did it first.
And they actually were the ones who wrote it. And in fact, I prefer
both versions are good,
but this one
I think I prefer this one more though. So we're going to be.
We've definitely heard this song more than 1,000 times because we actually cover this song on our channel. We've covered this song live many times, played it hundreds of times.
Right on our other channel, Max and Nicky. If you take a look at that,
we cover oldies songs and jazz standards and songs in that vein.
And this is one of the songs that we do cover on there. Mm-hmm. So if you're interested, check that out after you listen to this video, or watch this video, rather.
Mm-hmm. In the meantime, let's listen to Shaboom by the Chords for our 1000th time. Mm-hmm.
Life could be a dream, life could be a dream. Shaboom. Life could be a dream. Shaboom. If I could take you up in paradise up above. Shaboom. If you would tell me I'm the only one that you love. Life could be a dream. Sweetheart, hello, hello again. Shaboom, and open we'll meet again. Boom, ding dong, ding dong, a lang, a lang, a lang. Oh, 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 bip, a bip, a dip. Oh, life could be a dream. Shaboom. If only all my precious plans would come true. Shaboom. If you would let me spend my whole life loving you, life could be a dream, sweetheart.
Every time I look at you, something is on my mind. If you do what I want you to, maybe we'd be so fine.
Oh, life could be a dream. Shaboom, if I could take you up in paradise up above. Shaboom, and tell me, darling, I'm the only one that you love. Life could be a dream. Sweetheart, hello, hello again. Shaboom, and hope we meet again. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, life could be a dream. Life could be a dream, sweetheart.
The vocals.
Whoa, life could be a dream. Shaboom, if I could take you up in paradise up above. Shaboom, and tell me, darling, I'm the only one that you love. Life could be a dream. Sweetheart, hello, hello again. Shaboom, and hope we meet again. Boom, boom, boom. Ding dong, ding dong, a lang, a lang, a lang, a lang, oh, oh, bip, a bip, a dip. Oh, life could be a dream. Life could be a dream. Shaboom.
Shaboom
By the Chords.
Ah, what a great song.
Classic example of that 50s doo-wop. Mm-hmm. It's so good. And even on that saxophone solo, you hear the vocals really kind of doing a cool thing, you know? They're backing the sax in a way, and that's cool.
Some sources consider this to be the first... Am I correct in saying that some sources consider this to be the first...
Doo-wop song?
No, but rock and roll song, I think.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong about that. I thought some sources say that. No.
Well, Shaboom it's such just a classic.
Wait, just pause real quick.
Sometimes considered the first doo-wop rock and roll record to reach the top 10.
Yes, I just wanted to confirm that. It was considered. Sometimes it's considered to be one of the first.
No, it's sometimes considered the first
doo-wop
or rock and roll
song to hit the top 10
on the pop charts.
Sure, it's
as opposed to the R&B charts.
Right. So I stand corrected. There were some tunes beforehand that I'm sure people would consider the first rock and roll.
Sure,
tune.
I'm sure.
I mean, it's kind of hard to pinpoint that down.
you know, Chuck Berry songs were probably,
What are you talking about? I mean, Chuck Berry was concurrent with this. I mean,
I know, but I'm saying, he's kind of considered sort of the major pioneer in rock and roll music.
he's not the. I mean,
He's one of them.
the
I mean,
major
Little
pioneers.
Richard and
Well, there's a lot of them, but anyway, there's Big Joe Turner. Isn't that one of the guys? He did "Shake, Rattle, and Roll" that Bill Haley in the comics ended up covering.
and then eventually, anyway, good song, great song, really. I could just listen to that song thousands of more times and not get bored of it. It's so good.
Sure. And it really does make you think of the 50s for sure. I mean, it does have that sound, that quality to it.
Sure.
I mean, obviously, doo-wop is not a thing anymore. We don't hear that anymore, these kinds of, kind of doo-wop kind of nonsense kind of words that are used as kind of a backing to...
Right.
Well, we don't really hear...
You
we don't
hear that
hear
kind of thing.
group... I mean, you do have, vocal groups still, but, none really that are huge that have kind of just one lead singer that has this kind of... Yeah, these nonsense words in the back, kind of like in the same way.
I mean, hey,
I guess
that's
times
the
change.
evolution
That's
of
the
music,
evolution of
right?
music,
It's interesting to listen to this song compared to the other songs we've been reacting to, where this is from the mid 50s and the recording quality is more crude, and
Right. I mean, things, I would say starting in the mid 50s, things started to accelerate on into the 60s. And the 60s are really in a
as
major
far
way.
as engineering music is
engineering
concerned.
music went. I mean, a lot of innovation was made, particularly in the 60s. But in the mid 50s to late 50s, reverb was being experimented with a lot, actually.
Sure, and
you don't really
obviously-
hear it on this song, but you definitely start to hear. I mean, listen to
with the flamingos,
yeah, definitely.
I only have eyes for you.
And then if you listen to Sun Records, with Elvis, that slapback delay was such a big thing.
With his version of Blue Moon, actually.
Sure.
But obviously, that's just, we're talking about rock and roll songs because, if you listen to like a jazz album from the 50s.
Sure, you can definitely hear in this song that you can hear its roots in kind of a jazz kind of
No, that's not what I'm
quality.
saying. But if you listen to the jazz records from that time, maybe those are a little bit more clear and not as crude recordings. Like, if you listen to Kind of Blue, for example, just
sure.
off the top of my head,
But that's the late 50s, 1959, actually.
1958, actually.
1959.
Actually, it's 1958.
I'll bet you $5.
Okay, look it up.
Okay, we're going to pause and take a look. Yep, released August 17, 1959. That's right, Max was right, as usual. August 17th, 1959 is when Kind of Blue was released.
Well, I'm crossing my legs right now, so the bet doesn't count.
Okay, well, whatever on that. Anyway.
That'll do it for...
well, no, hold on. We're not done talking about the song.
Oh, you want to talk more about it?
Yeah, we didn't really talk about the song itself, actually.
Well, okay, go on.
There's some really, when the solo is going, I love that solo, that sax solo.
We did talk about the saxo.
Well, no, we didn't actually. We didn't talk about it. I mean, what a great solo, and it's a very memorable melodic line in of itself. And I love how during that solo you hear the doo-wop singers.
I mentioned that already.
You actually didn't mention it.
Oh, I did.
No,
I
you
talked about the doo-wop singers sort of backing the saxophone solo.
You think you did actually?
Well, I mean, you can look at the tape and we'll
Look at the tapes.
You guys will see that I'm right, and comment write in the comments and tell us who's correct here. Didn't I mention this already?
You mentioned it while we were listening to the song.
No. I mentioned it afterward.
Well, maybe I just wasn't listening to you. But in any event, I think that's really cool. And also, I just love when they, at a certain point, they all start singing the lead, I think, right?
Sure, yeah. Or they're all kind of harmonizing with each other.
Right. They're all harmonizing on the lead. And boy, really, it's really impactful. I love that.
Great song. And that'll do it for this reaction to this video.
Sure. Take a look at our version of Shaboom.
Yeah, just look up Max and Nicky Shaboom. You'll be able to find that.
Yeah.
Or if you go to our channel, Max and Nicky, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that post notification bell to find out about more Max and Nicky reaction videos. And make sure to comment below and maybe if you want to suggest any songs for us to react to that we've probably heard 1,000 times before. So any popular songs that you can think of, we'll
Or
probably
maybe
heard a
a
lot.
song that you think, maybe I'll stump them on this one,
Sure.
and maybe we haven't heard.
Sure.
And maybe we'll do a reaction video to one that's new to us.
Sure. Until then,
Keep tuning in.